What if I told you that the greatest financial rebellion of the 21st century may not have been a rebellion at all? A crumbling retail video game company, a Reddit forum filled with internet trolls, and a sudden market explosion that cost Wall Street billions. It sounds like the perfect underdog story. Small investors rising up to defeat the financial elite. But when the dust settled, something didn't add up. Was it truly a grassroots revolution? Or just another chapter in a long history of financial theater? This is the GameStop rebellion. And this is the monetary mysteries. GameStop was a dinosaur. In an age of digital downloads, cloud gaming, and instant online stores, it was clinging to a dying business model. Physical game discs, in shopping malls, in the middle of a pandemic. Wall Street saw the writing on the wall. Hedge funds piled in, shorting the stock aggressively. One fund in particular, Melvin Capital, bet heavily against GameStop, essentially saying, this company is finished. Then came an unlikely disruptor, Gil, a retail trader also known online as Roaring Kitty. He wasn't a Wall Street insider. He wasn't a billionaire. He was a guy with a cat-themed YouTube channel and a conviction that GameStop wasn't worthless. In fact, he believed it was deeply undervalued and massively overshorted. He posted his analysis on a chaotic Reddit forum.
r/Wall Street Bets.
A place filled with memes, mayhem, and madcap investing ideas. And then, the crowd began to move. This is the GameStop rebellion. And this is the monetary mysteries. What happened next stunned the world. As more retail traders bought into GameStop, the price began to rise. Hedge funds, who had shorted the stock, were caught off guard. They needed to buy shares back at higher prices to cover their losses, which only pushed the price up even more. This is called a short squeeze, and GameStop became the most violent one in modern history. In just a few days, GME shot up from $20 to nearly $500 per share. Melvin Capital was in crisis. Reports claimed they lost over $6 billion in just a week. Other meme stocks joined the fray. AMC, Nokia, BlackBerry. It became a cultural moment, a financial flash mob. The media branded it the Reddit revolution. But was it truly about the stock, or about sending a message? Just when retail traders felt like they were winning, the game changed. On January 28th, Robinhood, the trading app used by millions of these traders, suddenly froze buying of GameStop and other meme stocks. You could sell, but you couldn't buy. The effect was immediate. Prices plummeted. The rally collapsed. Paper profits turned to losses in minutes. Robinhood's explanation? They claimed they couldn't meet the clearinghouse deposit requirements demanded by the DTCC, the body that settles trades. But then came a disturbing connection. Robinhood's largest source of revenue? Citadel Securities, a firm that also helped bail out Melvin Capital, the hedge fund being squeezed by the rally. The internet erupted. Accusations of collusion flooded social media. Was this a liquidity problem or a coordinated defense of the financial elite? Even Congress got involved. Hearings were held. Testimonies were vague. But answers? Few and far between. A handful of retail traders made life-changing money. Many more lost it all. Melvin Capital eventually shut down, but its founders moved on comfortably. Robinhood went public just months later, raising billions. And Citadel, it emerged more powerful than ever. So, who won? The stock price returned to earth. GameStop still existed, but it wasn't suddenly profitable. It became a symbol, not a success story. And yet, the system, the very one that shorted the stock, paused the buying and profited on both sides, still stood tall. Wall Street didn't fall. It adapted, as always. Let's ask a dangerous question. What if the entire event, from the short squeeze to the shutdown, wasn't just a fluke? What if it was a controlled detonation? Let the public feel empowered. Let them think they disrupted the system. Then, in a moment of chaos, shut it down. Legally, technically, quietly. Then use the aftermath to justify tighter regulation of retail trading. Paint retail investors as dangerous and irrational. Push toward more centralized, controlled financial markets. Even worse, what if this wasn't about stocks at all? What if it was a test run to see how fast a financial movement can grow online and how fast it can be stopped? Because Reddit wasn't just buying stocks. They were unifying. They were proving that in a digital age, ordinary people could move markets, and that is terrifying to those who run them.
Let's imagine, just for a moment, what if what happened with GameStop wasn't the end, but the beginning of something bigger? What if the real story isn't about one stock or one forum, but about how digital communities are learning to wield economic power? Today, it's a meme stock. Tomorrow, it could be a currency, a boycott, a flash crash, or even a global coordinated financial movement that no central bank can stop. What happens when millions of people begin to realize that markets aren't just numbers, they're leverage? What happens when trust in Wall Street erodes to the point where people create parallel economies, cryptocurrencies, decentralized finance, peer-to-peer trading networks? What if GameStop was a test, not for the system, but for us, to see how we react, to see if we notice, to see if we fight, or fall back asleep? And here's the uncomfortable truth. The moment ordinary people start moving money with purpose, with intention, the system doesn't respond with fairness, it responds with control. Maybe next time it won't be Robinhood freezing your trades. Maybe it will be your bank, wallet, your entire access to the financial world. What happens then? Are we ready for that? Are you? So, did the little guys actually win? Or were they actors in a drama already written, characters in a play designed to end exactly where it began? Maybe the real victory wasn't in the price spike. Maybe it was in pulling back the curtain, showing the world how fragile, how unfair, and how rigged the system truly is. You decide. This is the Monetary Mysteries. Subscribe for more deep dives into the strange, shadowy forces behind modern finance. Because in a world ruled by money, nothing is ever what it seems.